Greetings Pisceans, welcome to your May reading with me. Hey, thank you for joining me. It is lovely to be here doing the reading. We will be using these three different decks of cards. The first one is the Morgan Greer, then this is a Doreen Virtue Healing deck, then this is a John Holland Messages from Spirits deck. As we walk into May, we are coming out of a fairly combustible April. But some of those energies are being passed through to May. We're joining the Taurian realm in as much that many planets are residing in Taurian energy. So some of you may feel this kind of gentle grounding effect, feeling more like staying home or attending to matters associated with the root chakra or the grounded aspect of life. Some of this may involve finances or money, it may involve careers, it may involve your home, it may involve family, or just slowing down and enjoying what earth energies have to offer. So I think that's where we're moving as we head into May. May still has quite a lot going on in it. We move into the first of the eclipses on May the 26th. It's a total lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, and then the partner to that eclipse is on June the 10th, which is a solar eclipse. Now we know that eclipses can bring things out and open them up. So this month in May, this may be more activated. Of course, the eclipse energy runs prior to the actual eclipse and also afterwards. So we sometimes say 3 months either side is still fairly activated by the realms that particular eclipse is going to open up and show us. So anyhow, I did a little bit of intuitive work for you guys before we start your reading, and these were the messages I got. It said, for the month of June, focus on intervention and purpose. You are being guided and happiness is your purpose. You attract what you think and how you feel. So that's saying to you, how you spend your energy or time on your thought processes or your feelings or emotions is going to be what you attract more of, especially in this month of May. So try to spend some time in the positive realms and focusing on this potential success and happiness as being your purpose. Some of you may see orbs. And that's an interesting spectrum. You might see them floating through rooms, you might see them in photographs. The topic of orbs may come up or be mentioned around you. Some of you may experience them or feel them around you as well. Now, some of these orbs could well be protective energies coming from the celestial realm, and some of them may be from the elemental realm as well. So keep an eye out for orbs for you guys in the month of May. Investments may pay dividends for you, and you're also being asked to raise your vibrations and remove any negative frequencies that you may be holding on to or that may have come in around people or relationships or circumstances. Now these could include things like anger or animosity or fear, fear about letting go of something or being too afraid to take the jump into something new. So those were the messages that arrived for you from the psychic realm. Each of you have to think about what they mean specifically to you, but we'll see if they sort of merge themselves and show themselves again in any of the cards that come up. So I'm going to move these two to the side first, and we will be working with this deck. This is the full tarot deck. So this is for Pisces for May 2021. What is in store for them? What is it you would like them to focus on, feel into, be surrounded by? So you have the King of Pentacles out. He has jumped out reversed, and so has this card, the next one, which is the Hanged Man, and now he looks as though he's the right way up. He's quite a confusing card. Let's see what else is coming for Pisces for May. What else would you like to show them? So 2 reversals makes me think that there could be some either going back in time or something that's not quite finished or timing wise is being held up. It could mean that you need to pay more attention to certain aspects that these might be related to, these cards. Let's just see what else is coming for you, Pisces. So 2 court cards. You have the 7 of Pentacles as well, the Queen of Swords. So the King and the Queen, not quite of the same lineage. She is an air sign, he is an earth sign. There's another, well, there's some more cards. They've turned on the side. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and put them up the right way. Another court card and another sword. So 2 pentacles, 2 swords, a major arcana. Let's see what else is in store for you guys. And the 10 of swords. It feels as though people are on your mind in this month of May, or whether relationships are on your mind or they play a key role. Given that we have 3 court cards, and most of them are what we consider the older, obviously kings and queens, they could be related, they could be relatives, they might be family members or siblings of yours that you see or that are playing a role somehow in decisions or events that take place. I have a feeling these two may be connected. There could very well be someone like an air sign person who you find that there may be some sort of abyss happening within the relationship. Maybe there's a distancing, or maybe there is an air sign person, and it might be a rising or moon sign, of course, as well, who you haven't seen for a long time, and you might find out why you haven't seen this person, or there might be some sort of conclusion around this relationship that may have been tenuous or a bit stressful on and off for a while. There might also be some information about them regards their health. Now, sometimes when this card comes out, it can be a message about older people in your life, so maybe family members or dear friends or someone that you have had a long relationship with, that it may be they get some bad news about their health, and there could be the beginning of a terminal illness diagnosed for them as well. So there's a whole bunch of different stuff going on, as always with every reading. Anyhow, I've kind of started backwards in the reading, starting with these 2 cards. So let's come back to this one over here, which was your first one out, the King of Pentacles. And oftentimes the first card out is actually very important. It relays a bigger message in the background, as too often does the very bottom card of the tarot deck. So if we look at the King of Pentacles being reversed, it often suggests to us that this is a very outer directed meaning. And it can say you're identifying yourself with your outer accomplishments and failing to recognize the power of you within, which is also very, very important. So sometimes this can be about going back into yourself and recognizing the power and the prosperity and the love of a person that you are. And in fact, that sort of matches a little bit with your first message that came up, and it said intervention and purpose. You are being guided, and happiness is your purpose. You attract what you think. So I think it's asking you to sometimes come back within and reconnect and re-emerge with your inner self. Some of you may be very outwardly successful or showing the world a certain aspect of yourself that maybe is wonderful to look at and seems really successful, but is there a part of you inside that either you're not open to, or you're not sharing, or you're not acknowledging? Now, it doesn't have to be a hidden secret part, but it might be a part that you think others might not respect or like you as much. Now, again, with the fact that this eclipse is coming, this could be a very poignant time for you to review who you are and what you actually want in life, and to stand up and be proud and not be afraid to say, hey, actually I don't like that, or I don't want to do that, or that doesn't serve me any longer, so I'm no longer going to be part of this group, or I'm not going to do that stuff for you anymore because I don't really like it. So I think this might be a time for self-realization, for standing up to be who you are, and for not being afraid of saying no to others. I think that's what this card in the reversal at the very deep level is talking about. However, if we come back to it as being a little bit more just clearly visible, the King of Pentacles reversed may also be referring to the fact that there could be something with your money that you need to rejiggle. So it might have been that you were expecting money to come in a certain way or a certain time, and perhaps it's not there for you. Some of you may have applied for a job or been expecting a promotion or waiting for money to come in for a business, and there might be a hold up, or it could be slightly less than your anticipation or what you were quoted or expected. It might also be a person in your life who is an earth sign person who needs a little bit of care, some special attention, or there might be something going on there that needs to be addressed, talked about or rejiggled again. So if we come to the next two cards, I'm not sure why I'm putting them into pairs, and I have a feeling this whole video is slightly on an angle for you, which is perhaps a bit discombobulating, but it's just the way my camera seems to be aligned. So I'm not sure how it's going to come out actually. It probably is a bit skew-whiff. There we are. I've rejiggled things around and we see it from a slightly different perspective. Now how poignant is that after what I was just saying? So coming back to the Hanged Man, and he is also reversed. This is also, interestingly enough, very much connected with the King of Pentacles, in as much as it's saying to you, you're almost at a crossroads, and this crossroad, because it's reversed, doesn't have quite as many parallel options as when it is upright. It is almost like it is a clear yes or no, up or down, left or right. There's not really variables with this. And it's saying to you that you may have come to a point in time where you have reached an outdated mode of thinking or an attitude or something that isn't serving you to your best purpose, and it's time to stand up and say no. So it's duplicating itself in messages here, especially given I think those were the first two cards that came out and they're both reversed. So in this reading, those reversals are playing quite a poignant role, and they're really asking you to address yourself and your needs and what it is about you that you want to either stand up and be heard, or things that you might want to change. And they could be around relationships in particular, because we have these three court cards and these two are surrounding this Hanged Man. Now the Hanged Man can also mean a timing issue, so it can mean that things are stalled. But I'm thinking, because the Hanged Man is reversed, maybe the timing is right now, that it is the moment in time for you to stand up and do something about a certain aspect or people's behaviours or the things that are going on. They could very well be earth sign and water sign people who might be involved in this. This King of Cups can be someone who comes in as a supporter or a person who shows love or honour or respect, is around you and there for you. Again, this might be a family member. I feel these are slightly more family oriented than work, but for some of you this could very well be co-workers, it could be bosses, it might be new employers, you might be seeking employment, and this could be indicative of the people that you are coming across at this point in time in your life. I think if you are, and if this is related to employment, which it could be because we have the finances in here as well, it's really important that you stand up again and speak your truth. So if there is something going on in a work-related area of your life and you're not happy about a certain aspect of it, it's time to stand up and be heard and speak your truth. But the King of Cups is often about this warm support and nurture and love and respect and tolerance. For some of you, there's the potential that any of these court cards may also be new romantic people coming into your life, or new people, friends, community, within your community, or even within a job. So that is also a possibility that may be occurring when we get the court cards. The other aspect of court cards, because they are a little bit more difficult to interpret than say these ones, which have a bit more of a specific meaning, they can be people coming in, and those people can be behaving or doing certain things that alter the paradigms in your life. But they can also relate to you and how you are reacting or acting. And this King of Cups shows, again, this great love. He's a great listener. He keeps a secret for people. So this may be you at this present point in time being that person to others. So being the support person, being someone who your friends or family can come to tell you something that's very important to them, and you show nourishment and care and support back to them. So how these cards are actually going to play out for you as an individual, you'll have to interpret, because remember that this is a group reading, so it could have very different meanings for each and every one of you. We come up here to the Seven of Pentacles. Again, this is a bit of an introspective card. The sevens are always about thinking, your mind, your questions. What am I doing? Where am I going? Am I happy with this situation? He is clearly referring to the Pentacles, which is often about money, finances, career, investments, things like that. It's a good card, and technically so is this one, in reference to your financial situation. There's a possibility for a lot of you that your finances feel very safe at this point in time. They may even be growing, because that's what this card offers. Growing money. He's harvesting those coins after working long and hard to procure them. You could almost say it looks like the fruit on plants that he's been tilling away over the whole period of the summer, the spring and the summer. But it's probably suggestive of even a longer period than that, maybe years, decades, because the Pentacles are the slowest moving, and they offer long-term timelines in their energy cards. So he's contemplating his investments, how much money he has made, where he would like to spend it, and that's what you might be doing. Some of you might review where you're spending money. Given that this is upside down, some of you may have lost a little bit in terms of where you put your money. Some of you might have, say, had it in shares or Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, and who knows, but over May some of these things may go up or down. So there's all sorts of possibilities in the background, and we don't know yet how May is going to unfold. But as I said at the beginning, there's a lot still going on in May. The Queen of Swords over here with these two crystals that have popped on to her. One of them is a heart, is a quartz heart, which is really pretty, and this one is a pink opal stone. They're nice stones to imbue her, and I feel as though she's coming in with some sort of tension, or possibly something to say, or something that is being experienced maybe with this card here. Now there's a possibility too that this may happen for you, that you feel this Ten of Swords from this person. So this may be a severing of relationships. You may feel it was unwarranted. It may come as a shock to you. So there could be some discourse, which is what I said at the beginning. So I'm going back over that. Anyhow, those crystals have come in on the top of that card to give a little bit of calming, soothing energy. So exactly how it's going to pan out for you, whether it's related to this person, and it doesn't have to be a female, but whether it's related to their own health and a diagnosis that they receive, or whether it's more of a relationship issue where there's a severing of the ways and there's some sort of argument or fight that goes on. Either of those are possibilities. She may not be associated with this card, and I might be unfairly joining them together. This card may be a standalone representation of something else, but I'm sitting with that at the moment. We come back to the one we haven't discussed yet, the Four of Swords, kind of next to this Ten of Swords. They're both talking about feeling a bit flat, or feeling tired, or needing to rest, or taking time out. They're both lying down. They both have swords in them. So there is a possibility for surgical procedures when these cards appear as well. Some of you may have booked in surgical situations coming up, and for some of you they may be more by choice. So for things like beauty, especially this one here can represent that. For others of you, they may be more of a major operation that you are going through, and sometimes this can be related to bones, so things like hip replacements, joint replacements, to do with the spine as well, because these run right down the back of this person's spine. So there's a feeling possibly too that if this is for you and not someone else, some of you may have neck, shoulder, head or spine issues in the month of May that annoy you. Possibly things like headaches in particular, migraines even possibly for some, eye issues, jaw, teeth, dentistry work that may need doing, x-rays. This can be x-rays or ultrasounds or things along those lines as well. Do you see how many different energy fields that each card can tap into. But they both are also giving off this feeling of take some time out, reinvigorate yourself, re-energize yourself, give yourself, I don't mean a makeover, but I think I mean an energy makeover. Review your diet, do some meditation, do some beautiful yoga, spend time at the beach or by the sea or in the forest or out with nature in particular. This can mean going away on a retreat for a weekend that's very beautiful and warm and loving and nurturing, and it can also mean conception or fertility for those of you interested in that aspect. This one does have probably just a little bit more of an intense meaning, in as much that there could be a loss of someone close to you in terms of a friendship that you didn't see coming, and the ending is abrupt and you feel deflated by it, but you also can't understand the reasoning behind it, and it's as if it's not fair. Let's just turn up the bottom deck of the card and see what's here. Oh, that's my fault. I had turned it upside down. It is the Six of Pentacles, so another positive pentacle card that turned up. This is the card of the cycle of life, of giving and receiving. So it's actually a really beautiful message behind the reality of it. It can mean a couple of things. Number one, you could be receiving some money. Now, we talked about that over here. We said you might get some money, or someone around you might. There could be a job offer, a promotion. This could be investments paying dividends. This can be something like a win, a small lotto win. Who knows? It could even be a big lotto win for some of you. It can be an inheritance that comes to you. It can be a gift or a loan. It can be an approval of a loan that you've applied for, like a mortgage or finances that you've been seeking. Someone can just give you money, gift it to you, just out of the blue for various reasons. It can also be a time when you are giving support, and it doesn't just have to be monetary support. It's support of love and nurture and honor and helping your friends and family, and that's why it's known as the cycle of life, the giving and receiving. And when we give and receive, we find that we have purpose and intervention, and happiness flows from that. And what you attract, you think, and that flows out and moves on. So a lovely tie-in of all the messages from the psychic messages and the cards that we have worked through here as well. So let's move these ones aside and see what the other cards are going to have in store. I have a feeling I haven't finished with those quite yet. So this is the Doreen Virtue Healing deck. What is in store for Pisces for May 2021? What would you like them to see, know, feel, or understand? Well, that was a few that dropped off for Pisces. A little bit hard to shuffle so few. Perhaps we'll just do it this way and work from here. Vacuum away fear. Call upon Archangel Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, your surroundings, this situation, and everyone involved. There is a technique called vacuuming away fear, or vacuuming away negative energies from your spiritual energy field. I won't go into that so much here, but you can call upon those archangels, Raphael and Michael, to protect you during the month of May, but to protect you at any time as well. If you are surrounded in any doubt or worry or any volatile situations that may crop up, and given that we have the eclipse and given the state of everything else that's going on in the world, there is a lot of those type of energies roaming around, and we can get caught up in them, whether by choice or by pure incident of being in the wrong place, if you like. So utilize this card to give yourself protection and to lift your energy field and vibrations as well. The God box is a lovely little thing that anyone can do. You just find a tiny little jewelry box or something. You can write any worries or concerns in it on a piece of paper, and then you put them in there and you just ask the universe to help solve them. So it's like letting go of the problem. When you write it down and you give it to the cosmic airwaves or the universe to help solve the issue, you're releasing the hold on it. You're releasing that stronghold of feeling as though you're the only one that can solve this problem or this situation that you're working through. So you can also put positive things in there as well, desires. So if you want a new job, or you're looking for wealth, or you're looking for good health, or you're looking for a love partner, you can put those type of things in the God box as well. But just be careful how you word it. You have to word it in a way that states, especially if it's a desire you're seeking, if it states as if you already have it. Because if you ask and say, oh dear universe, I really want a relationship, or I want to win lotto, you're telling the universe you only want it. And wanting means you will never have. You have to be very careful of the words you use when you are asking for support or help in regards of having something dissipate and go away, or having it come into your life. That's another reason why people say words are very, very powerful, and so are thoughts. Be careful of the ones you choose to use. And I think a lot of people underestimate the reality of that. It's incredibly important to choose the words that you put into these things. Some of you might benefit from a vegetarian or a vegan diet, especially with organic fruits and vegetables, and they can give you obviously a high energy field and increase your aura and your positivity as well. Be willing to forgive. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of any past pain in exchange for peacefulness. And we'll take just one more, and this is a big one that was on the top. It's the integrity values. And it says, align your actions so that they match your values and inner knowingness of what's right for you. Now that comes back to those very first cards, and we talked about it really at length when we said this is the time for you to stand up and be you and be heard. And that's kind of where the integrity values come in. So when we're very young, our integrity values are often set by our caregivers or parents. We listen to their rules, right? So they say, look, as a little child, you're not allowed to cross the road on your own. You're not allowed to use swear words. You're not allowed to steal anything. You have to come to church with us on Sundays, and you have to go to this school, and you have to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And that's how your integrity values get set when you're young. They are imposed upon you. Now, as you grow older, sometimes those integrity values keep with us because we don't have new ones to necessarily explore to put in place of those preset ones that were given to us. But oftentimes we do manage to open up and set our own values, and that can be difficult because sometimes it reaches a crossover against our family's traditions. So sometimes it can be breaking free of the beliefs your parents taught you, or the practices, or the moral ethics. But your integrity values are very, very important for you and who you are. And they usually only get changed when really massive things come into your life that make you want to change the integrity values. And when you do, they're often then reset for a very, very long time. So some of you may be at the point of reviewing integrity values, and it's not something that you're aware of necessarily. It can happen at the subconscious or the higher conscious level. You may not even feel it initially, but over time you'll start to perhaps disbelieve some of the things you were told to believe in. You may feel misaligned to some of the things you were following. You may feel aggrieved or annoyed at what people's power hold over you might have been over the past. And these are the way you buck their rules and regulations, and those were the things that were your integrity values in the beginning. So it's a complex, convoluted issue. And I did say at the beginning, with these two being in reversed, I thought they had a very strong message to actually tell you. So that's something to really just digress and think about as the month goes on. Something like integrity values, when that card comes out, could be with you for the next decade or even longer if you are thinking of making changes, or if something just pops up in your life and you go, wow, I feel a shift. You know, I don't even necessarily know how or why it happened, but something in me has shifted. So very, very deep card. It's kind of hard to do it fully in a general reading. Wow. And oftentimes it will be because of an inner strength that you are gaining that allows things like integrity values to shift. So it says strength comes from many sources. Staying strong brings confidence, conviction, and a balanced mind, body, and soul. Spirit has its own unique and beautiful way of replenishing your soul with strength on a continual basis. You're never really alone as we are with you. So remember, these are messages from the spiritual realm. And when we talk about strength, or balance rather, and we had this card out on the last one of the deck, which can also be very relative. This is spiritual balance, because he holds the scale and it's in balance. And I talked before about that being the purpose of life and the ebb and flow of giving and receiving. And when we're in that ebb and flow of give and receive, we find strength. It all becomes part of the parcel of the power of positivity in our soul's journey and our physical journey as well. So beautiful, strong card, and look at the power of the colour in there. And I noticed that the other two that came are also the same colour palette, this very intense reddy orange colour, which is all about the root chakra, which is the month we're in, with the Taurian energy coming in from the root chakra, and also the creative sector in the solar plexus, about creativity and power and strength. So these two, one is let go. Once you let go of the outcome, you'll be able to release all the emotional constraints that have held you back in the past. Trust in the higher good and guidance of spirit, as we have our very only your best intentions at heart, and will do everything in our power to protect you. Now, you had protection before, again with the vacuum away fear from Archangels Michael and Raphael, and they said if there's anything to vacuum away or let go of, call upon them. They have you in power to protect you. So there is a lot of protection for you in this month of May. This is a big reading. There's a lot going on that potentially you can dig very, very deep with at your own personal level, and you might find some amazing shifts that take place in your individual life. This is beautiful. A child's love. The love between a parent and a child is one of the most precious and deep connections we make during our time on earth. Children start out as part of us, and from their first cries, they establish themselves as the biggest part of our hearts. And as a parent myself, I know this to be very, very true. The love I have for my children, and they're kind of, younger adults now, is very, very deeply profound. And until I became a mother, I had no idea of that surge of love that you can feel for your children, and the desire to see them succeed and be safe and happy in life is overwhelming. You become a smaller piece of yourself when you become a parent, because you're secondary. It feels as though their role and their job and their future is the most important aspect of your life, and I think that's probably the way it is for the rest of your life once you become a parent. But there's a message in here for some of you about children. Conception of pregnancy may be a possibility for those interested, and it may be a possibility within someone within your family. There may also have been a miscarriage or the passing of a young child. And if that is the case, this young child may well be around for you at this point, just letting you know that that connection never goes. So again, this is a very poignant, gentle, spiritual message, especially for some of you who may be affected in this way. So it's just a moment to capture the beauty of this particular message and the love that sits behind it, I think. So that is the essence of the card right there. And I think that is such a beautiful card, and it is offering such a gorgeous, deep level of love that I just want to finish the reading with you, able to sit there for as long as you like, feeling the energy of the child's love. And remember, you know, for those of you who aren't parents or don't have a child in your life specifically, or haven't you know, been a parent, you were a child yourself and you had a parent, whether that parent was the one that you wanted or whether you had a deep love connection with them. And for some of you, this may be your parent coming in to pass across the message that they still love you dearly. So it goes both ways. This card actually does affect every single one of us. You're either the parent with the child, and this can also be your living children, just reverberating that connection. And for some of you as mothers, because Mother's Day around the world for a lot of countries is coming up very soon, this may be a beautiful connection for the mother energy. For others of you, this can just be, you know, the parents coming back in to connect with you and showing their eternal love. And for those of you who had a difficult relationship with the parent, whether it was a mother or father, again, this is such a deep, deep topic. The more difficult the relationship, the deeper the learning and the more soul journeying we experience. So everything is so convolutedly tied up, and all experiences that we go through are so deep, and they resonate through our soul's life, through the many, many lifetimes that we experience. But I think this is a beautiful, beautiful card to finish the reading with. So I hope that you have really enjoyed this. It's been a deep reading. I think one that you may need to listen to more than once. Come back as often as you like to pick up the feelings of protection, nurture, and particularly of love for yourself, and also from yourself to your children if you have them. So thank you again, everyone. I love it when you leave your comments. Please sub the channel and like the video. Much love. Namaste.